I know, you're sitting there thinking, if somebody has $1 million or $2 saved up, why do they have any anxiety around money? That's the funny thing about the human brain. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. One thing I've found as I've worked with clients, whether they're just getting started saving up or if they have a couple of $1 million saved in the bank, there is still this period of time where we can have a scarcity mindset wrapped around our cash flow. And so that is what I wanted to address in this video today. But before we get into that, have you subscribed to this channel? I make weekly videos that all talk about money, and especially money as you are tiptoeing closer and closer and closer to retirement so that you can feel confident and comfortable in your retirement decisions. What I have witnessed as I have been working with people as they're transitioning from their working years to their retired years is that there is this feeling of scarcity that starts to be triggered because their income is not coming from something where they are working, a job that they are working or a tangible thing that they are doing. It is coming from Social Security or STRS or the savings that they have. And all of a sudden they feel like they need to restrict their life, that they feel like they need to go on the envelope system, when in reality they don't. They have saved well enough that they could actually spend more than they are accustomed to. Pretty cool. People typically agree that the words that we are speaking over and over in our mind or even out loud tend to come true. And so whether that's around our health or our money or our job or our self-image, these scripts that we construe for ourselves end up really impacting our long-term satisfaction and our ability to cope with the present. Because money impacts so many areas of our life, we have to have a good mindset with our money, with our cash flow, so that we can get the things done that we need to get done. So here's my story. I'm a pretty good saver, I always have been, but there is one little area of my money that I start to feel kind of money scarce in, and that is, you're gonna laugh at this, but my husband and I have an allowance, or as adults like to say, our personal discretionary fund, our allowance. It doesn't matter that I have built up my 401k or that I have a nice pocket of savings. I have this personal allowance every 2 weeks that I get to do whatever I want with. I can go out with friends for lunch, or I can buy myself something. I get to make the choices with the money. And guess what? I don't have to confer with anybody else. I can make those decisions all by myself. There is no conversation needed between my spouse and I. So I've noticed that when I have, especially when I've had like a big personal expense at the beginning of my allowance, that towards the end of that period, I start to feel pretty anxious. And to the point where I am anxious about talking to my friends.
Are we gonna go out for lunch?
I don't have the allowance to do that. Now I recognize that I can take out my debit card and go to lunch and pay for that lunch. That's not really a problem for me. I have the savings built up, but I've compartmentalized my life enough, or at least my financial life enough, that that brings physical pain to me. So I try to avoid that at all costs. Now I recognize that this is a very small example in the big scheme of life, right? A lot of us run into situations that are a lot more drastic than Liz having to go to lunch with her friends and having to figure out what she's going to do and how she's going to pay for it. It's still not a good feeling to feel like you're constrained or constricted, even though really you have abundance around you. And so one thing that I started doing was taking a $100 bill and putting it in my wallet. It started that I actually had a little extra cash from Christmas. And so I stuck this $100 bill in my wallet and I decided, you know what? I'm not gonna spend that $100 bill. I'm just gonna see how long I can avoid spending it. And it was surprising to me that how this changed my money script. So think about it. Every time you go to make a payment, whether that is fueling up for your car or making a purchase for your business because you have a business card in your wallet. Every time I opened up my wallet, even if it was to get my library card, I would see that $100 bill sitting in my wallet. And guess what that made me feel? Pretty darn good. And feeling like I had plenty of money, I didn't need to be worried about it. So I did this for about 2 months, and I realized that this really helped me quiet that back of my mind, that subconscious in my mind saying that I couldn't afford what I needed to get done, or what I hoped to get done, or what I even wanted to get done. Here's my encouragement for you. Get a $100 bill and stick it in your wallet and don't spend it. Challenge yourself not to spend it for 2 months, 3 months, even 1 month. You will be surprised at how this really changes your thought process around your money. All right, friends, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. And if this trick works for you, if you are wanting to implement this trick, send me an email and just tell me, hey, I'm doing this. So with all of that, I will leave you and you take care.